Welcome to yoga. Today we're going to sharpen our awareness, our ability to see inside, see our body from the inside out. So we're going to start centering on our backs. So please come onto your back. Stretch out on the mat. Just comfortable, like a shavasana type position. And let's take a few minutes to, or not minutes, seconds, moments, to notice yourself in your space. Notice the air around you, and then bring your awareness inside. So as I said, we're going to especially focus our awareness on our body, on our skeleton, our skeletal structure, muscles that are activating and stretching in the poses as we build poses. So first, just relax everything. Let go of any muscular tension, let go of any thoughts that may have been running around in your head, something you brought in with you this morning or from yesterday, or the thoughts of the future. And just come into the present moment, focus on your breath. Just how your breath is flowing in and out, natural rhythm. Don't try to control it or change it. And relax your scalp, all around your eyes, your cheeks, your jaw. Relax your neck. Let your body just rest easily on the mat. Now, I'm just gonna do a little guided awareness, guided scan of your bones, your skeletal system. So, as I mention each part, please bring your inner eye, your mind's eye, to that place and visualize that area. Just gentle. I'm not going to use, a lot of fancy names or anything like that. So we're going to start with the what's called the axial skeleton. So the central skeleton, the core part of your body that's the basis for all movement. So bring your awareness to the base of your spine. So that is the area right in the middle of your pelvis on the back, the very lowest part of your back body in the center. And let your awareness visualize traveling up your spine. So the vertebrae moving up through your low back. And as you get to the upper back between your shoulder blades, actually a little before that, the rib cage is part of this central skeleton. The rib cage, which comes out like a cage from the back of the spine, the top of your chest, front of your chest. It's a protection for the important vital organs inside. And then continue visualizing your spine rising up to the base of your skull, the very top of the spine there, the cervical spine, and then visualize your skull. So basically the inside of your head, which protects the brain and the sense organs there. So that is your axial skeleton. And now move your awareness down to your feet. Visualize. So now this is called the appendicular skeleton, so don't worry about that too much. It's basically the arms and the legs. So bring your awareness to your toes, joints, little teeny joints between the toes, the bones of the feet, the joints at your ankles, and then your lower legs. So there's 2 bones in your lower legs. And then the next joint is the knee joint as you're moving up. You can be aware of both sides. We're not going to do one side at a time. So you have 2 knee joints. And there's a little kneecap there. And the knee joint is where the lower bones of the lower leg join to the big thigh bone, femur. Now keep in mind that the way that the bones are joined are with ligaments and tendons and muscles, so they're not fused together. So we're just looking at the bones by themselves. So traveling up your thigh, the big thigh bone, it joins the pelvis, which is it's called the pelvic girdle, at the hip joint. So that's where the top of the thigh bone meets and doesn't connect, but meets with the pelvis. And some points on the pelvis that are mentioned during class are sometimes the sit bones. Those are the tuberosities at the bottom of the pelvis. And then the hip bones, the pelvic bones that are at the top, front of your pelvis. The pelvis is kind of a bowl shape. And again, the spine rises out of the pelvis. So the spine is joined to the pelvis at the back in the middle, the SI joint. And then moving up to the shoulder girdle. So this is where your arms are attached. So bring your mind's eye, visualize the collarbones. You can feel those at the front, at the base of your throat, moving out toward your shoulders, and the shoulder blades on the back body, and the shoulder joint starting at the top and moving down the long bone of your upper arm to the elbow joint. And then, as with the legs, there are 2 smaller bones that move from the elbow joint to the wrist, and there begin the bones of the hand and the fingers. So just knowing in your mind's eye, having a general idea of the skeleton and how the bones of each part meet at a joint, and then at the joint they are held together with tendons and ligaments, and then the muscles cross over the joint, and those are the what allow the joints to move. So there you go. So we will build on that awareness and visualization during practice. So now come back to your breath, And just begin to lengthen and deepen it. Just gradually even it out. And then to continue honing our focus and ability to focus and keeping our awareness on one thing, for 1 minute, just choose something to focus on inside your body. It could be the breath. It could be the heartbeat. It could be the movement of your body with the breath. It could be focusing on the space between your eyebrows, the third eye. Just one thing. One sensation or movement in your body or spot for 1 minute as you breathe. Now, take a moment based on what you've seen, or just whatever comes to mind, to create an intention for your practice. Very powerful tool, taking your practice to the next level. And we're going to begin our practice right here on our backs, so stay where you are. Lengthen out long on the mat. Lengthen your legs out. Keep your arms down by your side, palms face down. Flex your feet and spread your fingers. And then on an inhale, bring your arms up overhead toward the back of the mat. And on an exhale, return your arms down by your side. So keep your legs slightly engaged. Move your upper body with your breath. Moving very slowly with your breath, with control. Now bring your awareness to your shoulders, your chest, and notice that as you inhale and the shoulders come into flexion, your rib cage lifts and expands. Now the next time your arms come down, keep them there. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, bring your right knee into your chest, hug it in, squeeze it in. So your right hip is in flexion, right knee is in flexion. One more breath. Now bring your your right knee over your right hip. And just let the calf come toward the back of the thigh. On an inhale, raise your foot up toward the ceiling. So you're extending your right knee. Exhale, bring it back to flexion. Inhale, extend. Bring your awareness as you extend your knee to the muscle in the top of your thigh here, the big quadricep muscle, which is acting to extend your right knee. Next time your foot comes up, pause there. There's two flexions of the ankle. When you bring your toes toward your shin, heel toward the ceiling, that's called dorsiflexion. And when you point your toes toward the ceiling, heel toward the back of the calf, that's plantar flexion. So it doesn't matter what they're called, but be aware as you bring your toes toward your shin, see if you can see which muscles are activating to make that happen. And as you bring your toes point your toes, see where you feel activation there. When one side activates, the muscles on the other side, ow, sorry, I got a cramp in my thigh. The muscles on the other side stretch. So just bring your awareness into, as you move the ankle, see if you can be aware of what's flexing, what's contracting, what's stretching. Now bend your left knee, bring your left foot to the mat, keeping your foot flexed, dorsiflexed, reaching out through the heel, your right heel, slowly keeping your lower back pressed toward the mat, lower the right leg to the mat. Keep it light activation of your right leg. Exhale, bring your left knee into your chest, squeeze it in. Hip flexion, knee flexion on the left side. Keep in mind that you will have differences on each side, just be aware. Now bring your left knee over your left hip and extend the foot up and flex it back down a few times. Being aware of which muscles are contracting to allow this to happen. The muscles on the front of your thigh, your quadriceps. And that when you contract those muscles, there's a stretch in the hamstrings on the back of your thigh. And as you reach your heel toward the ceiling, also a stretch of your calf muscles. So consciously bring your awareness to the muscles in your legs. Visualize. Now keep your foot raised and point and bring your toes toward your shin and then point at the ceiling. So the two types of flexion in your ankle. Again, being aware that as you bring the toes toward the shin, see if you can be aware of a stretch up the whole back of the leg. And as you point, more of a stretch up the front. And then bend the right knee, bring the right foot to the mat, Lengthen out through the left leg. Keep your low back to the mat and slowly lower your left leg. And then bend it to meet the right. Bring both knees into your chest. Bring your feet up toward the ceiling. Take a hold of your toes or your ankles and or the bottoms of your feet. Happy baby. Press your thighs down. Knees toward your armpits. You can rock right and left here. Anything, movement, stillness, anything that feels good. And then cross your ankles and roll up to a seat. Come around to all fours. Tuck your tailbone, tuck your toes. Lift your hips up and back to down dog, not to stay. And then walk, hop, jump, bring your feet up between your hands in a forward bend, Uttanasana. Just hang here for a couple breaths, knees bent as lot or as a little, whatever suits you. Just letting gravity lengthen out your spine, lengthen out especially the low back. And then inhale, bring your hands to your shins, come up into a half forward bend. Long, strong back, straight spine. And then press into your feet. Inhale, come all the way up. And hands down the center line into Tadasana. So have your feet about hip width apart. Make sure you're balanced evenly on them. And we're going to do some sun breaths, but first, turn your thumbs out. So palms face forward. This is external shoulder rotation. So I ask you to bring your awareness to the shoulder blades, the muscles in the upper back, and notice that when you externally rotate, the shoulder blades come closer together. And visualize the muscles that are causing the shoulder blades to come together. Feel that happening. Okay, now keeping your arms externally rotated here. Inhale, keep your fingers spread, palms up to touch. Now externally rotate so the palms go out, internally, palms face out as you come back down and around to Anjali Mudra. So a few more times. Palms out and up to touch on the inhale. Exhale, palms out and down. 2 more times. Inhale. You can lift your gaze to follow your hands and lower if that works with your cervical spine. Okay, then come to a pause there. Step your feet a little wider apart. Inhale your arms up. You can interlace your fingers and press your palms up or keep your hands separate. Doesn't matter, whatever you want. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, back to center. Keep your arms by your ears. Exhale, side bend left. Bring your awareness to the stretch. So you're going side to side, bending on the exhale. Little more pressure down through the outside leg to get the most out of the stretch, facilitate the stretch. So side that you're bending toward, that side is contracting, the muscles up the side of the body. The upper side is stretching. And the next time you come up, release your arms. And we're going to take a little more time to build our Tadasana today. So just more mindfully building the pose now that we're focusing on the joints and the muscles. So start with your feet facing forward, hip width apart or maybe closer. And just as you're standing there, lift and spread your toes. Let them go down, lift and spread. Notice where you feel movement here. So as you flex the toes, you're engaging the muscles all around your legs, leg bones, the lower and the upper. Energy is going from your feet as you press into the earth, the mat. Energy, you're engaging the muscles of your legs. Kneecaps will rise up. Energy moves up. So that's why we build from the foundation up. You start, drawing the energy up, and it translates all the way up. So we're at the pelvis here. So take a moment to lightly engage your core muscles. So the hips are stabilized. The pelvis is stabilized from the front, from the back. Take a little tuck in your tailbone. That lifts the pubic bones in the front. Stabilize your pelvis. Lift up the rib cage away from your pelvis. So lengthen up. Externally rotate your arms. Shoulder blades coming together on the back. Spread your fingers. That will extend your elbows, which draws the shoulders down. So these are muscles in your upper back. One set brings your shoulder blades closer together, opens your chest, and when you straighten your arms and reach down, that draws the shoulder blades down. Then you can lengthen your neck, reaching the top of your head toward the ceiling. Now, you've used some muscular action to get the joints in alignment. So ears are over shoulders, shoulders are over hips, hips are over knees, knees are over ankles. An alignment, neutral. It's neutral alignment. And now you can relax a lot of the muscular effort because the skeleton is aligned and gravity is holding you right here. You can't release everything, but release as much as you can and still hold the alignment. You might be able to just let your hands be at your sides. So because it's so common to have the hunched forward posture because of our habits, that's why maybe a little extra effort is required to keep the shoulder blades more together on the back. So to open the chest more. But you could let your hands come down by your sides. And then if you have the balance, close your eyes. The goal of mountain pose is stability and ease. So we got the stability by aligning our skeleton, our bones. And now we can have ease by exerting minimum effort. Open your eyes. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. And then hands to the heart space. So we're going to do a balance, a two-footed balance. So foundation, the first step here is foundation. So pressing evenly into all corners of your feet. Balance back to front. Tuck your tailbone, activate your core. So gently bring the hip points together. Have a drishti, something that's not moving. And we're going to start with hands on the hips. That gives a little more stable base. And as you inhale, come up onto your toes. And as you exhale, lower down. So very simple start. Inhaling up on the toes, so you're really narrowing your foundation here. It's challenging. But just stay with it. Focus. Bring your awareness to your toes. Notice the muscles in the back of your the calf muscles are what is providing the strength here to raise up. So you might visualize those calf muscles lifting you up. Also focus on keeping all the toes, big toe to little toe, in contact with the floor. That's your base of support. Now pause, and we'll try it with the sun breath arms the way we did before. So as you inhale, as your arms come up onto your toes. And as you exhale, lower down. Inhale up. Exhale, lower down. It can be a challenge. It is a challenge for me to control the coming down. So that takes muscular strength to come down slowly, not with momentum. Okay, and then pause. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to chair. Exhale all the way up. One more, half sun with chair. And now come to if you're not already there, come to the front edge of your mat. Stand with feet hip width apart. Take your right heel in a little bit, rotate it in a little bit, and take a step back, keeping the width between your feet, squaring your hips toward the front edge. Now keeping both legs straight, we're going to work into Warrior One, Virabhadrasana 1, but we're going to take it a little more consciously, mindfully each step. So start by establishing your foundation. So press down into your feet. So that, remember, creates hugging muscles to the bones of your legs. So stabilizing your legs. And then inhale, both arms up. Shoulder blades together on the back. So we're grounding down through the legs, lifting through the arms. So remember when we started out on our backs and when we inhaled and lifted our arms up overhead, that lifted the rib cage. So that's what's happening here. Now bend your left knee over your left ankle. So contract the awareness to the quadricep muscles and the lower leg muscles, keeping the knee over the ankle. And on the back leg, continue to press into the mat and contract the glute muscle on the back buttock that extends the leg. So the front leg is, the directional movement is forward, and the back leg is stabilizing that action. So the legs are doing different things. The energy is different. The left leg energy is going out and forward. The back leg is grounding down, and the upper body is lifting. Warrior one. And then bring your right foot forward. Step out your legs a little bit, and we'll try warrior one on the other side. So this time, step the left foot back. We're going to still build it a little more carefully than we usually do. So starting with the feet and both legs straight, press into your feet, activate the muscles all around your legs. Inhale, arms up, lifting the rib cage, lifting upward energy here. Fingers are spread. Bend the right knee over the right ankle. So engaging the quadriceps, calf muscles to keep the knee over the ankle. Bring your awareness to visualize your left buttock muscle, left gluteus maximus, keeping that leg extended. And you can bring your gaze up. Shoulder blades are coming together on the back, slight extension here. So the front hip and knee are in flexion, and the back body is working, contracting to keep the back extended. Back muscles are working, muscles on the back of the body, from the heel up to the fingers. Okay, and then come out of that, step forward. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair. All the way up. Now turn to face the long edge of your mat and step your feet wide apart. Start with your hands on your hips. This is our last building pose. Press down into your feet. Now your feet are spread here, so notice a little bit of a difference. Notice where you feel when you press down. Notice what muscles are activated here. You might notice a little more on the adductors on the inner thighs. So press down, lift up. Now, take a little bend in your knees. So when you do that, when you flex your knees a little bit, you release the hamstrings on the back of the legs. So as we forward fold, to allow the hips to come forward and keep the pelvis from tilting too much, the hamstrings have to allow that to happen. So by keeping a little flexion in, just a little, you can release the hamstrings on the back of your thighs. So come halfway to start with. keeping your hands on your hips. And then come forward all the way. You can bring your hands to a block or to the mat. You might be able to walk your feet out a little bit more here. Tilt your tailbone. Draw your belly in and just let your upper body hang like we do in Uttanasana, standing forward bend. This pose is wide-legged forward bend. Prasarita Padottanasana. Hands can come toward the mat. If your hands are on the mat, if you energetically push the forward, you can get a little more length in your spine. So in this pose, as you hold here, your whole front body is contracting, but with the aid of gravity. And the back body is, you're getting a stretch all the way from your heels, the back of your legs, up through the back of your legs, and up through the back of your pelvis, the back of your spine, all the way to the top of your head. So the back body is stretching. The front body is contracting, but with the aid of gravity to hold you in the pose. So notice where you feel the most work going on. For me, it's in the inner thighs, the adductors, and somewhat in the quads, but could be different for you. This is an inversion, and because it's a forward fold, it actually stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system. So it can be very calming. Now to come up, bend your knees again. So take your hands to your hips, come up halfway, and pause here. Strong flat back. And then on an inhale, press into your feet, lengthen out, and come all the way up. And heel toe your feet in. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. All right, inhale halfway up, forward fold, and turn around. We want to come down onto our backs. So if you face the long edge of the mat, go ahead and come all the way up. Sorry, I didn't do a very smooth transition there. Come to the front edge of your mat. And we'll do it better. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step back into down dog. Exhale here. Inhale, knees to the mat. Feet out to the side. Come over onto your seat. And then stretch out long on the mat. Take a twist here. Take your arms out shoulder height, palms face up. Keep your right leg straight. Bend your left knee and putting your foot, press into your left foot and just hitch over a little bit onto your right hip, and then draw your left knee over the right leg. See if you can have your shoulders on the mat. And make any little modifications in your supine twist where it feels good. And you can hold it for about a minute. And close your eyes. Probably still have some energy zipping around from the poses we did. Keep your awareness inside. Maybe bring your awareness to your hip, top hip, left hip, knee. Notice, just visualize the orientation of your bones, your thigh bone, your lower leg bones, or bring your awareness to the hip joint or the knee joint, or visualize the muscles. Notice where you feel sensation. Breathe into the sensation. Exhale, soften. You might soften not where you're paying attention. You might notice a softening on the bottom leg, bottom hip, or in the shoulder. Have the intention to soften on the exhale, and then notice where you feel it. And then on an inhale, bring your left knee up, bend your right knee, recenter your body here, your pelvis. Straighten out your left leg. Keep it lightly active, and then push into your right foot. Pick your hips up, come a little bit more onto your left hip, and bring the right hip over. The side's different, so make any adjustments. So this can be just a wonderful time to wring things out inside that's comfortable, that's the stretch is just right. Not too much, not too little. So you can feel safe in releasing any effort not needed. Notice how this side is different. Keep your awareness inside the muscles, the bones, the joints. That really strengthens the mind-body connection. Visualization is a great tool for strengthening the mind-body connection, which is very important in yoga. It helps you to get more out of the movement and the postures, and makes yoga more than just exercise. Okay, now inhale, come back up. Grab a block if you have one, and we're just going to take a couple minutes in a restore supported pose. So you can put the block under your pelvis, the back of your pelvis. Make sure it's not on the spine, that it's just on the pelvis. And you can do a supported bridge or supported shoulder stand, or I call it legs up, raising your legs up. So this is another inversion. We did the inversion in Prasarita Padottanasana. Inversion has the heart over head or hips over heart. It's really nice way to send a lot of fresh blood, oxygenated blood to the brain. So even here in a restorative posture, keep your awareness with your body. Visualize the orientation of your skeleton. Perhaps becoming aware of which muscles are working, which are stretching, or if they're just neutral. These are restorative poses, so you've been working. This is a chance to restore. Integrate the efforts. Give your body a chance to recharge. About a few more seconds. And then remove your block and give yourself about a minute to take any movement or pose that feels right, that's your body's asking for. Remember, listen to your body. It'll never lead you astray. And we'll come into Shavasana. After a minute, come into Shavasana, making sure that you are symmetrical, right, left, body symmetrical, comfortable, and using minimal effort. So this can be legs up the wall, using the wall for support, or the lower legs on a chair seat. Or on your back, perhaps with an eye bag or a weight bag on your abdomen, covered with a blanket, rolled blanket under your knees. Just suggestions. Try something new or do something tried and true, whatever's calling for you today. So Shavasana is final rest. It's called corpse pose. And just one way of describing that is just a total release, a release of everything that's weighing you down, that you don't need. Let go. And a rebirth after letting go of what you don't need. It makes room for something new. So just surrender everything. Let it go. Let your body sink into the mat or whatever support there is there. Let go of thoughts. Just surrender. Please bring your awareness back to this space. Begin to awaken your body with small movements. A little stretching out, bringing yourself over onto your side. And reconnecting with your breath. Perhaps revisiting your intention. use your arms to bring yourself up to a comfortable seat. Keep your eyes closed, helping to keep your awareness inside just for a few more moments. And press down into your sit bones. There you go, on the underside of your pelvis. And lengthen up through your spine. Visualize as you reach down through your sit bones and up through the crown of your head. Visualize your spine, the vertebrae separating, lengthening up. Bring your hands, palms together at your heart space. It's really right to that sternum, the breastbone, connecting your rib cage. And bow lightly, bow to your efforts today, your willingness to visualize what's going on in your inner workings, your skeletal system, your muscles. Oh, excuse me. And to get to know yourself a little better and to strengthen your mind-body connection, which is actually a form of meditation, or at least increasing your focus, which is one of the steps in meditation, your ability to focus. And the light in me bows to and honors the very same light in each of you. Namaste. Thanks for coming and getting a little kind of backstage look into the creation of a yoga practice from the teacher's point of view, and the cues we give you to press into your feet, just to get an idea of why we give those cues and what they do. So press into your feet, stabilize, ground down, align those bones, externally rotate your shoulders. Just know that the muscles are bringing your shoulder blades together on the back, opening your chest, stuff like that. Anyway, thanks for sticking with me. And I look forward to seeing you next week right here. Bye.